It's the best of 17, the first to 9 to find out the last champion of 2017. Let's hand over to our boys in the box, Neil Folds and Dave Hendon.
So the last snooker final of 2017 promises to be a real winter warmer for one of these two, either Neil Robertson or Cao Yupeng, going home with the Stephen Hendry Trophy and the first prize for £70,000. We know that Robertson is going to start favourite, but favourites have fallen during the week. He's the man, though, with the experience, with the pedigree, 12 ranking titles to his name already. Looking for his first, though, in 18 months, the Riga Masters at the start of last season was his most recent win. Cao Yupeng here in his first ranking tournament final. He's had a memorable week already, making a maximum in the first round, beating Trump yesterday. They're going to pose with the Stephen Hendry Trophy. Bearing the name of Scotland's greatest ever snooker player. Leo Scullion, another Scot, is the referee in charge. Best of 17, they play 8 frames here this afternoon. Here's Leo, who's in charge 12 months ago as well.
Just a moment.
When he's got his gloves on, we'll be able to start.
Yeah, all the best, have a good game. Thank you. How are you, Paul? All the best, have a good game. Thank you.
Well, if Robertson can start like he did last night against John Higgins, the first 4 frames were simply sensational, then I think the danger is he will run away with this, but let's see. It's another day, it's another match, it's the final of the Scottish Open.
Yes, and it's hard to argue, isn't it, that these two players don't deserve to be here. A lot of people might have thought Higgins-Trump after the quarterfinals and before yesterday started, but they're on merit. Cao Yupeng certainly got the better of Judd in many ways, not on the table only, but I think in the head as well, and was a deserved winner. He's had a great week with his 147, worth £20,000 in a much earlier round on an outside table. That's given him a boost. And he comprehensively hit the black furs there. Nowhere near the reds.
Yeah, there's bound to be a few early nerves, but that applies to both players. Robertson back in a big final again, after, for him, a little slump in form.
This red move.
Leo Scullion already pressed into action here, replacing them.
This one here.
That's where it was. Yeah, he's right to say that red had slightly moved. Peggy Lee is the marker, just helping him out here.
Is it that way?
There's Peggy.
Yeah.
So that's just the cue ball. Cao, the 5th Chinese player to reach a ranking final after Ding Junhui, Liang Wenbo, Zhao Guidong, and of course Yan Bingtao, who was in the Northern Ireland Open final just recently. Comes off the back of him reaching his first semi-final at the European Masters in Belgium a couple of months back.
Well, it's not an easy shot to get the pace right when you're playing the swerve, as if you were playing it plain ball. But it doesn't look as if he stuck anything there.
It's Neil Robertson's 20th appearance in a ranking event final. He's already up to 16th in the world rankings with the 30,000 guaranteed. If he wins, he'll go up another place. But of course, as we know, it doesn't help him in terms of the Masters. The cut-off came last week after the UK Championship.
Well, there is one to the bottom. And he's made a great pot. That looked as if it was very tight. But he could pot it. And if he starts off like he did yesterday, he'll be a very dangerous player. I think he's got his scoring back together, hasn't he, and getting in. It's the one part of his game that was always top class, his long potting and his creativity, shot making. Sometimes, last year or two, that seems to have gone.
Yeah, he's played good open attacking snooker this week. He's made 10 centuries. Marco Fu last year when he won the title made 11. Ronnie O'Sullivan when he won the English Open this season made 12.
Didn't go into them all that firmly.
14.
But I suppose he was worried about maybe losing the cue ball if he didn't hit them flush, but he has got a red on here. One in the middle, one in the left corner. The one in the middle is the one he's going in at. Yeah, well,
Neil Robertson.
he started
14.
like a train, yes. He didn't miss anything, but an early mistake.
Well, Robertson's had 10 centuries. Cao Yupeng has had 1 in the tournament, but it was the maximum on the second morning, the 147.
One.
He started the tournament 67th in the world rankings. He's up to 56 with the 30 grand guaranteed, and if he wins the tournament, it'd be 38th. So it just shows you how under this prize money system you can rocket up the list with a good week.
Hit that nicely. He certainly has become very compact in his cue action. I noticed it. Had a little look through
Please.
the 147, which was streamed. And just there was something about his cue action that he shortened everything up, which means he's accelerating through the ball. He has always been a technical player. I know that early in his career, Terry Griffiths was helping him with his game. I'm not sure that's still the case, but you know, he's not naturally as gifted as some of the other Chinese players coming through. But this week, the mechanics of his cue action are all working out.
Thank you. Eight.
It was a good camera angle, wasn't it? Because you saw he played it with a touch of right-hand side and stun.
15.
And that has worked out well because the Reds were not guaranteed to split from where they were. He doesn't want that one back.
16.
I wonder how he's feeling. We'll soon find out how it's affecting his game. It's the biggest match of his snookering career. And he's got to trust that cue action as well under pressure, that he's worked so hard to get right. He's got a little notch on the cue, actually, which you may be able to see, which is where he was got to
24.
put his bridge hand. It's something that you wouldn't see very often, to make sure that his cue is the right distance away from his bridge. A bit further down than that is where his bridge hand is. But it's given him a very solid way of hitting the ball.
29.
Well, there it is. Now that is where he wants to have his thumb, basically.
30.
Without getting in it too much, it means that he's got the right amount of cue at the back and he's essentially happy with his game. But you don't see many players going on the match table with all that happening. It's a little stun through onto the red in bulk. And again, well played.
It's worth reminding everybody, he dropped off the tour last year, Cao Yupeng. Had to enter Q school to get back on, and he came through 5 rounds and didn't have a good season last year at all. But this season, something has clicked.
36.
Well, obviously, he was looking to avoid the green.
Well, the break surely is over. It's a question of, well, he's thinking about taking on the green to the middle and playing the long red, but I think most of the tour players here will be dropping in behind the colour. And I think that's what he's going to do in the end. It's got to be the right shot, especially if you leave it tight as he has done.
Well, that's Neil Robertson's partner, Miller, and their little lad, Alexander. At the moment, seems a little more intrigued with his lollipop.
The problem here is if he's playing bulk cushion first, then he's in a lot of trouble. He'd like to lay on either the red on the right of the table or the one right down the bottom. That's the worst possible outcome.
One.
I think it is a different vibe for Robertson today. Yesterday against John Higgins, he was playing another multi-champion. Today he's playing someone pretty much everyone expects him to beat. But Cao Yupeng doesn't care about other people's expectations. He's played really well this week to reach the final. He wasn't favourite yesterday against Judd Trump, came through that one.
8. Nine.
I think that's the point, Dave, isn't it? In that if he was a little bit unsure of his chances of winning yesterday, it never showed. So why should today be any different? Maybe because it is the final.
I think the test for him today will come later on. If he
16.
does get a chance to win, if he's in front, how will he handle that?
17.
But he once beat Mark Allen at the Crucible. 2012, first round. Obviously, that was a 2-session match.
Once again, very measured positional shot. The 3 reds that remain look... He's
24.
going to struggle to pop them, and he'll need one of them, whatever colour he takes. It'll probably be the black following this. But his lead will only be...
25.
Say only, but 47 points. He's got the angle to flick one of the 3 reds out. I don't think he's going to hit this very hard. He's going to just try and nudge something on. Well, that's very good. In fact, it could not have been played any better. He played it very firmly and plenty of zip on the ball.
Up to 3.
What a good start.
Yeah, he had him snookered and forced a mistake, but the key moment, I think, came when Robertson missed that red to the left middle, which he wasn't doing early yesterday. He didn't miss anything, really, against Higgins early on of any significance to lead 4-0.
Yes, he missed this red to the middle. He actually had a choice of reds. He could have played one into the left corner, but he felt this was the best position. And as we were saying, he didn't miss any of that yesterday early on. He was
41.
virtually flawless for 4 frames before John came back, but it was all too late. So he's not going to be in front here. Well, this is just the start I think the match needed, where Cao Yupeng has really started positively.
47. $48.
Well, no signs at all of early nerves from Cao Yupeng in his first major final. Quite the opposite, actually. Looking
55.
bang up for it.
$57. $60. $64.
Well, he knows this is the sort of snooker he's got to produce today if he's to last the distance against an informed Neil Robertson. But precisely the start he was looking for. Get in, settle down with a nice break and take this opening frame. So it's advantage Cao Yupeng in this Scottish Open final. That missed red from Neil Robertson was significant in this opening frame. Long way to go, though. It's first to 9 to become champion. Cao Yupeng leads 1-0. The Stephen Hendry Trophy is what we're playing for today here at the Scottish Open. Neil Robertson and Cao Yupeng. It's 1-0 to the Chinese.
Thank you. The second frame. Cao Yupeng to break.
Made an 82 break eventually to win that opener.
Foul. Neil
That's
Robertson,
not a good
4.
break. He didn't even hit the blue. He finished in the pocket. So if he'd hit it nearer to where he meant, he might have hit the blue. It was way off. Too thin.
One.
Well, his long potting's been so good this week, so reliable.
That cue ball
6.
just got there.
Seven.
It is amazing how the shot that you play more than any other can go wrong like that. For Cao Yupeng, I mean, he just completely mishit it. And yet he's played that shot many, many thousands of times.
15. Yeah.
Obviously, the cue ball's meant to come round a lot wider, but it is so thin, he finished to the left of the blue, not the other side of it.
$22.
Ronnie O'Sullivan is watching in the Eurosport studio. I guess, Ronnie, if Neil Robertson was wondering how Cao Yupeng would be feeling in his first major final, he found out in that first frame he was feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was a great first frame for Cao. You know, Neil got in early and, you know, half expecting him to do what he done last night against John. He broke down. Cao made a nice 30-odd and then clinically finished off with a nice 82 break. So perfect start for him, but it's far too early to kind of see how this match is going to go, you know. But for a spectator, I think it was more important for Cao to get off to a flying start than Neil, you know.
Yes, but we know, of course, that Robertson is a very confident character and he's obviously got to back himself, considering how well he's played this week. Yeah,
I mean, listen, Neil's kind of won 6 matches to get here and, you know, he's beat a lot of players that he's expected to beat and, you know, he's dispatched them pretty well. And I agree with what you said earlier, you know, against John Higgins, you know, it was a 50-50 match. But this match, it's, you know, the pressure's kind of all on Neil, really, because he's the favourite to win the match and it's how he deals with that. And if Cao starts to play well, then that pressure will only increase. But, you know, he looks in good form, good touch. And, you know, if he continues to play like this, I'm sure it's going to be a very, very good match.
OK, thanks, Ronnie. We'll hear more from Ronnie as the match develops.
39.
Well, that's not as he meant it, and this,
44.
he got a bit of applause for this shot, but there's no way he meant to hit the reds like that. He hit the pink as well, and now this red from under the rail is not easy. He'll certainly play it, but he must hit it properly. Yeah, nicely done. Nice recovery. He's always been very good at playing recovery shots with his potting skill. I wonder if he's going to consider going into the bunch here. There is a possible red, as you're looking at now, on the left of the little group of 5. Other than that, will he have the angle on the black to go into them? It's the other option.
$52. $53. Yeah.
And once again, looking at just about where he can land with the cue ball to pot the end red into the left middle pocket. He's got an area in which he can get into, which is okay. Well, it looks to be all right.
60. $61.
Now he's looking at another red to that left middle. He's running out of options, but he's also getting close to the point where Yupeng needs snookers. Well, that was a sloppy shot. He never really looked at the pot. He looked at the next shot. A bit too much there. I'm not saying it was simple, but he was definitely interested in position. Maybe stop thinking about the pot. Well, as you can see, it was available.
One.
Too early to say that it's going to be a turning point in the frame, because to clear up from here would be quite something. The two reds below the black are the real problem. They're not available yet. Well, it's worked out well. He obviously screwed past them we were meant to, but he flicked the two reds.
Nine.
Well, that's a very interesting shot. I mentioned the two reds that were safe, but he's taken the opportunity to get them into play early in the break,
16.
and that's a sign of confidence. Any suggestion that
17.
He's a little bit slow, well, he's at the moment going at 21 seconds per shot. His pot success is 100% as well. I guess the two things might be linked, but he's not playing slowly.
$22.
Well, there's a couple of awkward reds, but I mean, thinking ahead, if he dished up this lot and pinched this frame, that would hurt Neil Robertson. But there's a long way to go to make that happen. $38 pots he's gone for. He's knocked them all in so far. Again, that was very well played. Very meticulous with his positional play.
26.
And if he finishes high on the black, that's where he wants to be to make it easy to get onto the last red.
$27.
That's okay. Well, there's a very big shot just around the corner here. It's the last red. If he gets onto it, it's huge. And he couldn't be on it any better.
Well, Neil Robertson was 2 balls away from levelling up.
54.
He missed that pink. Thinking more about position for next red on 65. What a steal this would be by Cao Yupeng. An early blow for sure to land.
Well, Neil Robertson must be a little bit concerned, and he's probably thinking about the ball that he missed as well. This was one of the easier ones that he'd played. He'd potted some good balls up until then. He could be pinning his hopes in the blue and pink. I don't know whether the blue is available into the middle pocket, the left middle, with the pink so close to it. That would be his possible saving grace. See how he goes about it. Well, he's overscrewed. He just hit it too well. Getting so much on the ball, it flew back. I don't know whether he hit it too hard or he went too low down the cue ball, but he meant to be a lot straighter than this. We'll take him onto the blue, though. And of course, it's pressure now. No problem.
Thank you. 51.
Well, the blue must go. From our commentary position, it looks tight, but it must go. He wanted an angle, but not a big angle. It's just in between shots. If he plays to put it in the middle and hold for the black, it's not easy. I guess nothing's ever quite straightforward in these circumstances.
Oh, he's played it so well. So the black to steal the frame. Neil Robertson led 65-0, missed the pink to that same middle pocket. Oh, my word, he's jawed the black, all that hard work.
62.
And he's missed the black.
You're joking, after all that work. Wow. He likes to play shots with a little bit of pace, but there, I'd quite like to see him drop it in, but it's not his style. Wow. It was a fantastic break up until that shot. Well, that's made him feel, not embarrassed, but he feels totally sickened to miss it. You see it in his face. It's not an easy shot that Neil's got here. It's a thin one.
But already a fist pump and a shout of come on from Neil Robertson. He wasn't expecting Cao Yupeng to miss the black off the spot. A rueful smile. What a dramatic start. Every chance there to lead 2-0, but in fact, it's one apiece. Welcome back. An eventful final already here. There's the trophy they're playing for. Well, you don't often see a fist pump and a shout of come on after 2 frames of a final, but we saw it with Neil Robertson winning that very dramatic frame on the black. Cao Yupeng missed it initially, and then Robertson was left with a tricky little cut. And this was it, Neil.
It was very dramatic. It was a really great game of snooker. Nothing wrong with that. It was just the release. He knows he wasn't 2 frames down, and having sat out an exceptional break.
Thank you. The third frame. Neil Robertson to break.
How will Cao Yupeng respond? Having done all the hard work, just the last ball he missed. Interesting to see how it affects him. Of course, it's affected Robertson. We saw that from the way he responded to potting the black.
Yes, up until then in the match, Cao Yupeng had potted 48 of 48 shots, 100%. But it was the 49th, which was the one too many. It's a pity for him. It was a great break.
One.
They put a hand of apology up after this shot. Of course, he didn't play it.
Brown ball.
Well, certainly looking to remain positive when he could have easily tucked in behind a colour there. And the thing about this table is that the high-value colours are not really in play, so I don't know how he's going to keep the break going. Also, he's got to recover from that last frame, the way it ended. Three-ball plant. Very handy.
This is the latest all non-British final. We've seen a few. Neil Robertson's been in a couple against Ding Junhui and Marco Fu.
11.
The first in a ranking final was way back when, 1985 British Open, between Silvina Francisco of South Africa and the Canadian Kirk Stevens.
Yeah, what's interesting about that, Dave, is that those two countries do not provide top snooker players anymore. South Africa had a few, but Canada was a hotbed of snooker for many years. Some great players have come from those parts, but we don't see that now, sadly.
No, but we do actually have a few viewers in Canada. I know that they tweet now and again, so I hope they're enjoying the coverage.
$18.
Well, he's got them open, but this, I mean, this is awkward. Does he take the pink on? If he misses, the reds are everywhere.
It's an awkward shot for sure. It's in between both pockets. He wants to be positive, as we've seen. Well, that was a terrific pot. And looking to keep the break going. Ronnie O'Sullivan is watching this avidly in the studio. Ronnie, as we see Cao Yupeng on this shot, we're going to go back to the previous frame. And what did you make of Neil Robertson's black and his celebration so early in the match?
Yeah, I know. I was really surprised by that. You know, because, you know, Neil has done that in the past, but, you know, to do it and then to really give his opponent a glare as well. I think it's only 1-1. You've got another, like, 16 frames and 7 or 8 hours to go. So a little bit early to start sort of celebrating like that. But I suppose in some ways he might feel like he needs to pump himself up to get himself going. I don't know. But, yeah, very early to celebrate like that.
Yeah, thanks, Ronnie. We'll get your views as this very interesting match unfolds. But I guess it was important for him to show that man sitting in his chair what it meant. Anyway, interesting. We'll be back with Ronnie later on. Meanwhile, he did miss that pot. It's one of the first he has missed. The black, of course, was the only other one.
Yeah, he potted the good pink, but then he was left with this. His reaction to it all was just a smile, but often in snooker, that means they're feeling the opposite. He's literally crying on the inside. Must have been after missing the black and then seeing Robertson knock it in like that.
It's gone a little bit tactical here. That long red up the table. If he plays to push it up and down, the double kiss could be on. He might not have the easiest shot to get it back down the table, the red, that is. So he's going onto the black cushion with the cue ball instead. It's very well played. Well, what have you got any interest in going for this, dropping it in, being on the yellow? It's a difficult shot against the nap at this range. A great shot. Absolutely terrific. Played slowly. Extremely difficult shot to play. Cue ball had to travel a long way to get to the red.
Three. Four.
I'm not sure. I guess he might have played that. It's not the worst outcome. Cannon on the two reds to finish on the pink. Yep. One thing you can't say, you can't accuse him of not trying. He is giving every shot 100%. This is difficult, though. Very well played. Very impressed with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, we're seeing why he's in the final.
10.
Whatever was happening last couple of years with him seems a distant memory. And he'll be hoping the miss black in the last frame is a distant memory, just looking to press on in this frame, make things right here now in frame 3.
11.
He earned £6,500 last season. The whole season, that is. Already this season, 55,000 plus the 22 for the maximum, guaranteed 30 for reaching the final. It's 70 if you win it.
Rainbow, thank you. $15.
So he was clearing up in the last frame and was left with this black for the frame. And that's what happened. Caught the jaw, stayed out.
Yeah, one or two people have already sent me messages saying they think he didn't really get through finish his backswing on that. It was a little bit short at the back, which can happen because he's so keen to get the shot out of the way. The usual flow is not there. And that's known as pressure, simple as that. That's another very clean pot.
Well, here's Shoe Cam. Strictly final was last night, I think.
What a chance to win the frame.
23.
Keeping it simple,
24.
playing on the pink to the middle with the two reds there. Stopping the cue ball travelling any real distance.
$30. $31.
Well, Neil Robertson gave it the fist, gave it the come on when he won that last frame. But Cao has responded really well here. He had every right to be crushed, really, by what happened, but just concentrated on this visit and looks sure to be a winning visit. Just needs this red, and Robertson is going to need snookers.
37. 38.
Yeah, great response. Knocked in that cracking long red with the cue ball on the top cushion to the yellow bag. Judd Trump said yesterday that Cao Yupeng cannot win this final, but the way he started suggests he can.
.46.
This was the opening shot of the break. Look where the white is, glued to that top cushion. The red away
52.
from the pocket. It's not like it's hanging in the jaws, but he's knocked it in all the same. And he's made
52.
the winning break.
It was a really good shot, Dave. They're so difficult to play. And I don't suppose he had many options, which is the only good thing. His mind was made up.
Well, he knows it could be 3-0, but the
55.
important thing is that he's put together a good contribution in this frame and just looking forward, not back at that missed black.
56.
Yes, and that's a really good point. You know, he's recovered from that situation. I don't know whether he would have been inspired by seeing Neil so elated about winning a frame. Ultimately, he still stands. He's still pleased to have won it. Otherwise, he'd been 3-0 down now.
61.
Nothing wrong with people showing emotion, I don't believe, as long as it's not excessive. It's nice that people care enough about the game and whatever sport they're playing.
63. 65.
Very impressive. Playing all these shots left-handed now. Saw him practicing them earlier on.
68.
It's pretty good as well, isn't he? It looks almost exactly the same.
Cao Yupeng.
That's a really good break.
72.
Of 72 from Cao Yupeng, especially in the light of what happened in frame 2. He's looking really good here in the early stages of the final, and he leads Neil Robertson by 2 frames to 1.
Okay. Thank you. Frame 4. Cao Yupeng to break.
So we've got one more frame to come before the mid-session interval. Cao Yupeng here leads Neil Robertson 2-1. First to 9 to get their hands on that lovely trophy.
That's quite a rare mistake from Yupeng. It was very thin. I'm a little surprised he went for it.
One.
Yeah. Didn't put it cleanly. I wonder if that's why he's not on the blue perfectly or at all, actually.
Yeah. So, but I miss. Neil Robertson 1. Cao Yupeng 5.
Not got there.
3 ball.
It's incredible.
Well, trying to get it
Play again.
tight. And he's been asked to play again from where it was. Going twice across here. Could be touching, which would be in Cao Yupeng's favour. Apparently not.
What he's not been able to do yet, Robertson, is take control. You know, we've seen him bouncing around this table, particularly last night against John Higgins. At one point, bearing in mind he's playing John Higgins, he shut his opponent out for 62 minutes. Higgins didn't pot a ball for 62 minutes last night, 426 points without reply. Robertson completely in control. That's not been the case yet today. Doesn't mean it can't happen. But Cao, he's looking comfortable. Despite the slip up in frame 2, he put together a very good third frame. Not a great return safety from Robertson. But that's not good either. Robertson, 3 out of 3 so far on long potting. Make that 4 out of 4.
Yes, he really pinged that one in, didn't he? It's beautifully struck. Now, there could be a plant of 2 reds into the left corner, but there might be another red that's available. Looking at his option, but this is worth seeing again. It was expert timing and cueing. That's a good shot. Played that well.
8. Nine.
Robertson, one of 3 non-British players to have been world champion. Canada's Cliff Thorburn was the first. The second was Ireland's Ken Doherty, who last night was inducted into the Irish Sporting Hall of Fame 20 years after he won the title at the Crucible. And thoroughly deserved as well. What a great ambassador, not just for the game, but for his country.
16. 17. Yeah. 24. $25.
Well, he gets a clap, but it's actually put himself in a spot of bother here. Obviously, the red's covering the black, so that's the first problem. I mean, he's potted some tremendous blues into pockets in this tournament, especially yesterday against John Higgins. I don't know how much he wants to fancy this one, or he might be playing a safety. And it goes yellow instead. That's tremendous. I haven't seen him cue this well for a long time, as he has been in the last few days.
27.
He's just not touching the sides.
Yeah, that absolutely had to go in. He knew he was leaving the red over the pocket. He also knew how well Cao Yupeng was playing. It's been a fascinating start to this final.
28.
Well, he's not on the black.
No, that's not unlucky. It's not a good shot. He could have played through the gap more firmly around two cushions there. But he shouldn't have kissed the red. That was not part of the plan. Thought he could have run this in, gone around the back of it. Maybe the angle wasn't there, but either way, he played a poor shot. Well, he's a great potter, but even that was beyond him, and it's not. It wasn't really a Robertson sort of a shot. I don't actually think it's anyone's kind of a shot, really, to cut the blue in the middle, but he went for it. And it may be very costly.
1.
Yeah, just coming up to an hour's playing time. It's kind of felt like we're already in the evening session. It feels like we're near the end of the match in terms of the high-stakes nature of some of the frames so far. I think everyone was wondering how Cao would start in his first major final. We know Robertson's playing well, but this man had every right to be feeling the pressure. I guess he did on the black that he missed, but other than that, he's played really well.
6. Seven.
Wasn't an easy shot to play there, so that was a good shot. Little, almost dragged it and took the cue ball around the table. Another cueing shot here. Very nice.
13.
He looks absolutely rock solid.
Remember, outside of the one-frame shootout event last season, he only won 2 matches the whole season.
20.
Having dropped off the tour, having to come back through Q School. Just come out of complete obscurity this week. He had been in a semi-final in Belgium where Trump played terrifically well to beat him 6-1. I think a lot of people were expecting more of the same yesterday, but not a bit of it. He won 6-4 and he's really settled in well here, but of course this frame not over yet.
It's another very good shot. Yes, and you mentioned yesterday, Dave, there was actually a very long frame where he missed the final black in that, which was a little more difficult
28.
than the one that he missed in frame 2. But as we know, that didn't affect him too badly either. Seems to put it behind him completely what happened in frame 2. And his tempo around the table is absolutely excellent. Concentration's good. But he's not over the line by any means, only a few in front in this frame. And his problem might be the 2 reds in the middle of the table. He's looking at where they may be possible. That is a fantastic shot. Didn't have the right angle to screw him behind it, but again, great ball striking. Just got a glimpse from that camera angle of the other 2 reds there. I don't know whether any of them or either of them popped to the middle pocket. Just a little bit too close for comfort to each other. Could be the other middle pocket. It's a similar sort of shot.
.44.
Oh, it's another beautifully controlled shot. That was probably the only place
45.
that red was available. Couldn't have put it any better with his hand than where it finished. 21 in front. So 28 now, red-black. It means this frame buying snookers will go his way also.
52. .53.
Well, Robertson must be very thoughtful about how this match is going.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't expecting this in terms of just how well Cao's settled. That's a little bit like the black that he missed in frame 2, but he didn't one.
I'm just thinking exactly the same thing, Dave. It was
60.
a similar shot positively.
Well, I didn't meet one person backstage today at the venue, some seasoned snooker people here. I didn't meet one tipping Cao Yupeng to win this final.
61.
There may be a few opinions revised at the interval, because he's going to be 2 frames up.
Yeah, it's early days, but I'm very, very impressed by how he's played. He's played beautifully. He's got a different game to a lot of the leading players. He's not free-flowing,
8.
sort of loose-limbed. He doesn't just sort of get down and knock balls in. He's quite mechanical, but at the moment, everything is working. The machine is fully operational here.
And it could have been 4-0, of course. He lost the second frame on the black, but that didn't seem to faze him at all. He's just come out and played 2 really good frames. He made a 72 break. He's made a 70 break there in frame 4. Neil Robertson has his hands full today. This is not the start that he was expecting, I'm sure, at the first interval of the Scottish Open final. Cao Yupeng leads Robertson by 3 frames to 1. So 4 more frames to come here this afternoon. Cao Yupeng has made a half-century in each of the 4 frames so far. Of course, it was the 62 in the second frame, the only one of those that wasn't a winning break. But in his first major final, he's really impressed so far.
Now we are ready, Neil.
Can Neil Robertson use some of his experience as a few latecomers take their seats and make this closer coming back this evening?
Yeah. That's why I asked him to hurry up. Thank you. Frame 5. Neil Robertson to break.
Well, it's another break-off shot in this match that could have been better.
One.
Yes, very well potted. Long reds rolled it in. With an angle to go into the bunch if he wishes. Playing with topspin here, so I think he's probably playing on the loose red.
Eight. Nine.
And this time into the bunch for sure. Topspin, trying to arc the cue ball into the pack. It's not the easiest shot with the bunch so tight to get them open. It's always the worry, cue ball will stick to them. Could hardly have played it better, I guess.
16.
Maybe to hit the reds not quite so square on would have been handy.
Cao Yupeng, 16.
Had a brief text conversation with Terry Griffiths at the interval, because he used to coach Cao Yupeng, and he's enjoying watching. Hope you're well, Terry, and well, whatever you taught him is working out pretty well. Even to get this far, you know, even if he should be beaten, his final, which he's had the 147 break. Bonus for that, the high break prize, and at least 30,000 for getting to the final. It's a big payday. Ranked. It looks to me as if he's looking to win the title, though. It seems to be no signs of him just being happy with his lot.
Well, Terry will remember a certain Yorkshireman by the name of Joe Johnson at the 1986 World Championship who beat him in the quarter-finals, and of course turn up in the final, very much second favourite to Steve Davis, but really with nothing to lose, and went on famously to win the trophy. Well, again, it's not great from Robertson.
No, it's a very weak shot. There's no doubt that Yupeng has surprised a few of his opponents this week because he hasn't been playing as well as this, and he seems to continue surprising people. Judd yesterday, no doubt didn't expect him to play as well, and I think even Neil Robertson expected that things might go a little bit more smoothly than they are so far. And he's putting this, and he's worried where the cue ball's going to finish.
One.
Good shot. I mean, you can only make sure of the pot and hope for something, although his next colour won't be straightforward. Well, this looks like a real stretch to me. I can't believe he can get to this without an extension on his cue, or even the rest. Lo and behold, he's done just that. Put a bit more on the end of the cue. This way he can cue the yellow.
Well, he's got to keep a toe on the floor. Leo Scullion making sure that he is.
Three.
He was sat in the players' lounge during the interval as Robertson went to the practice table. Chair looked very relaxed. Clearly happy with his initial afternoon's work.
Four.
This wasn't absolutely clean, but it's gone in all the same.
Nine. Ten.
First two Home Nations events this season. English Open lost second round, Northern Ireland Open first round. But as I say, had been in a semi-final earlier in the campaign in Belgium, European Masters, lost to Trump. And obviously the maximum he made first round, that was a great boost to his confidence. He's on that list, an increasingly long list now, 134 maximums on it. But he's on it, and that was a great way to start the tournament.
18.
Well, I must confess, I thought that was going to drop in. And it's a bit like a shot that Neil Robertson missed against John Higgins last night. Hit the same part of the jaw. It was a red below the black spot. I guess it was always a bit wide. But there's two blacks in this match that he's missed, which have come at inopportune moments, let's say. And both I thought he'd get.